Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, is the newest installment in the Knives Out franchise, once again written and directed by Rian Johnson, and once again starring Daniel Craig as Detective Benoit Blanc. In this movie, Benoit Blanc is hired to uncover a new murder that has unfolded at a Catholic church. Josh O'Connor plays this young priest. He's new to this whole experience, this whole new life as a priest. He's stepped into this new Catholic church that is led by Monsignor Wicks, played by Josh Brolin. He's a very bombastic, loud, abrasive kind of priest. He's got his group of followers that are the regular churchgoers that are there. But one day, though, this guy just drops dead in the middle of a room. No one has any idea how it happened. Josh O'Connor is seen as prime suspect number one here. So he brings in Benoit Blanc to help him uncover the mystery of what happened to this guy. I've been a big fan of these Knives Out movies. I know some people have their opinions on Rian Johnson and his films and some decisions he's made with certain films, but these Knives Out movies, these murder mysteries that he's really gotten into the habit of as of late, I think he's really been crushing it. I love the story, I love the mystery, I love the execution of the mystery, I love the cast he always brings on board with it. He always casts the right people for certain characters. And Wake Up Dead Man looked like it was going to be the same thing. Another really clever murder mystery with, once again, a stacked cast. And that's one thing you gotta say about these Knives Out movies. The fact that he is able to load up these movies with a lot of really talented actors really shows you that people have a level of respect for Rian Johnson and look at these Knives Out movies. They're like, that looks like fun. I'd like to be a part of that one day. I won't dwell too much on the obvious. I mean, Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc, once again, he was born for this role. He's great as this character. But what I really like seeing with Benoit Blanc in this role is this is a type of mystery that not necessarily he's attached to, really at all, actually. In fact, this is like the furthest he could be attached from in an emotional sense in any way, shape, or word, because Benoit Blanc is an outspoken atheist. So when he ventures into this church, this cathedral, and he learns about the history of how this church was made and the story behind it and what God and Jesus and the Bible mean to the people that's in there, that's not of interest to him. To him, it was just another mystery, but it led to some more interesting things being discussed in this movie with him and other characters, which I'll touch on later. But yeah, I thought the biggest standout in this movie was Josh O'Connor as this young priest. He's someone with a troubled past. He's someone who found God along the way, which has healed him. He's come into this church to, eventually see himself as someone who can lead people towards Christ. And that's what I'll also say in these Knives Out movies. Like I said, they bring a really stacked cast typically whenever you go into this, but there's always that one character that has a much bigger role. It kind of serves as the Watson in a way to Benoit Blanc's Sherlock. He's basically that here, and I love the dynamic between the two of them, because as I mentioned earlier, Benoit Blanc as someone who does not believe in any of this, and Josh O'Connor as someone who very much believes in all of this, it makes for very interesting dynamic and parallel between the two of them. Because when certain elements might be uncovered, or when certain things might be discovered, or when they have certain conversations with certain people, one might have a different way of going about it than the other, but it ultimately could lead to the way one executes discovering what the mystery is. It might work in a better way like that than it would that the other person might do it. They had really good chemistry between each other, and the way they bounced off each other because of their different morals and beliefs, I thought really worked in the uncovering of the mystery. And yeah, I thought the writing in this movie was really well done. Once again, you got some really funny moments, you got some serious, tense moments of dialogue and tension between characters. But I gotta say, I thought the execution, once again, of the mystery in this movie, as I feel is the case with any of the Knives Out movies, is really done well here. And what's great about this mystery is, as opposed to previous Knives Out movies, where you sort of got a glimpse at one point or another in the movie where the mystery was, where foul play may have occurred, in this movie, you kind of go into it relatively blind. Like, you're not really giving a hint at anything that could have happened or anything that could have occurred when a certain character is murdered. You just know a murder happened. So in this one, what's fun about the mystery here is it's a lot more compelling, and you really don't know much of anything. You know as much as Benoit Blanc does when he walks into this. You know what Josh O'Connor has told him, and that's all you got. So as a result of that, I think it makes the murder mystery a lot more fun, because you feel like you're looking for a lot more clues. You're trying to find certain things you might have noticed in previous scenes that you maybe would have noticed later. You're trying to make all these notes in your head. You're trying to play detective here. And that's what makes this movie a lot of fun in that sense, because you are on this journey with Benoit Blanc. You're trying to solve this mystery with him. This isn't like Benoit Blanc knows something and we're just along for the ride. We're just allowed to be told how he solved the mystery. You feel like you're solving it with them. I thought that was great. But I gotta tell you, what I think was what really put this movie over the top for me and really made it go the extra mile, as opposed to other Knives Out movies that we have gotten, which were just straight up mysteries for the sake of murder mysteries. It was the theme of religion that's here. Because the theme of religion plays such a big role in not just the mystery, but with certain characters along the lines. I mean, Josh O'Connor talks about, his troubled past and how turning towards, the Catholic faith is what saved him. It gave him a new purpose. However, he has entered a church with a really over-the-top lead priest in Josh Brolin, who is a monster when he is on that stage talking to, the people who come to worship. Like, he's that type of guy who's gonna get up in your face, he'll target certain people in the audience. It's like, you did this, I'm looking at you and I know you lived this life, and you've done these certain things, and you're awful because of this. Like, the kind of priest that condemns the people who come in, says like, you are not of godly faith, you've done this with your life, you are swine, you're inferior to the rest of us. And there's moments he does that to certain newcomers. It makes the newcomers get up and walk out. And, it's something that they were saying that he wanted to do because he wanted his small little flock that followed him blindly. And it was a really interesting theme to see in this movie because it really plays into, I think, the problem a lot of people have with religion. I'm sure there are millions of people who have gone to church, have attended church. I mean, I'm someone who's gone to church my entire life. I grew up in a very religious family, so I've been in church pretty much all my life. And not that I've been in church necessarily and a priest or a pastor or whoever it was targeting me directly, but it's the way they spoke, it's the way they delivered the message. It felt a little bit like you were being talked down to, not being talked to. Not like someone was trying to save you, someone was trying to make you feel really terrible. And I love seeing Josh O'Connor have that little battle with Josh Brolin in that sense. Because, he sees the way Josh Brolin's handling it and he's like, I don't think this is the way we should be doing it. Like, he has a line in this movie, Josh O'Connor does, where he says, like, Jesus didn't want to be like this. He wanted to be like this. And you absolutely see it in the way he talks to people, in the way he's trying to convey the message of God with some people. He goes at it with a much more warm embrace, a more genuine feel for it. There is one moment, he's on the phone with someone, he's trying to crack the case, he's trying to figure something out. This person just kind of starts opening up to him about some struggles that they're having, and he takes that moment, he sits down, he talks with them, he prays with them. And you feel like in that moment, he gives that person the much needed peace that they need right now. And it was really nice to see. Like, Rian Johnson very easily could have walked into this movie and been like, yeah, religion's bad, it's toxic, it's a cult, you don't need it. But no, instead, he shows all the different sides of the religion. The good, the bad, the ugly, why people turn towards it, why people turn away from it. And ultimately, the way the mystery really pans out at the end, there's a lot of very spiritual, religious elements that go along with it that have you thinking, like, was this a miracle? Was something just divine intervention? Like, you feel like the element of God that is in this movie really makes your wheels spin a lot more, because all of a sudden there are moments where Benoit Blanc is legitimately stumped and he's not entirely sure how this mystery might be solved. There's a moment he's kind of sitting there, he's like, I don't know. And in a movie like this, where religion is such a big focal point of the movie, you can't help but think about the certain supernatural factors that could go into the movie like this. It makes it a little bit more thrilling. Not scary in any way, shape, or form, but thrilling in the sense, like, you see certain things, and you're now inquiring about how certain things might have happened. It does make you wonder how much of this was the act of man, and how much of this might have been because of something else that we just can't explain. And yeah, by the end of the movie, it was all wrapped up beautifully. It blew my mind. I wasn't expecting anything, and once again, it really shows Rian Johnson knows how to, from start to end, execute an excellent mystery. So all in all, Wake Up Dead Man, it's another great hit for the Knives Out franchise. Daniel Craig once again kills it in this movie. Josh O'Connor was great. He was easily the standout of the new characters in this movie, but the entire cast in general I thought did a phenomenal job across the board. It was a great mystery. It was a much more engaging mystery that has you more along for the ride, has you feel like you're trying to crack the case as well. It has some funny moments of dialogue. It has some intense moments of dialogue. I really loved the theme of religion that was in this movie and how much religion played into the solving of the mystery and how it was able to explore all the different sides of it. And in the end, it's like this. If you're a fan of the Knives Out franchise, I think you're really going to love this movie. And even if you're not, I would still encourage you to give this one a chance because I feel like every Knives Out movie is worth watching at least once just to see for yourself. The question now becomes, where does it rank among the other Knives Out movies? I still wouldn't put it above the first Knives Out. I mean, there was just something about seeing that for the first time that was special, but I would put it above Glass Onion. In the end, this is easily one of my favorite movies of the year, and I really hope Daniel Craig and Rian Johnson continue to work together to bring us more Knives Out movies. For as long as these two are involved with each other, I'm down for as many as they want to make. I'm going to give Wake Up Dead Man a 9 out of 10, which makes this movie wicked awesome. So that's all I'm going to say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video, and as always, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.